everybody, welcome back. This is Butch Grimes, your late night cooking bachelor. Yes, late night. You know I love cooking late at night, and that's what I'm doing again tonight. You probably were in our last segment. You got a little hint of the moisturizer. Actually, I'm still sipping on one of those right now. A little small one, a little medium one, as I call them. It's good. We're gonna do something that's near and dear to my heart. Actually, it's something that I got from my grandmother. Years ago, when I was little, I used to go fishing with my grandmother and grandfather, and we would be in Oregon and Washington. We would go salmon fishing. So my grandmother would always make salmon a certain way. She would fry it. I know all of you out there are so accustomed to going to the restaurants and eating nice baked and broiled and so on. But we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do the Cooking Bachelor's version of salmon. We're going to fry it. And let me show you something. Now, I'm a fisherman, as you already know. You've probably seen some of my fish. And as you can see here, we have a really nice salmon fillet. But what we're going to do is, we want to make this salmon fillet just like you would get it at a supermarket. Now, I'm going to tell you a little easy way. First of all, always grab it, take your fork, and grab it right under the skin. Take your knife, and you want to just barely pull it away. Now that you got a little piece to hold on to, you can just take this, and you can do it like this. And as you're holding it, all you're doing is you're gonna basically just slide it underneath. Now this is a new knife that I have, so this is a different kind of knife I've never used before, and it is very, very, very sharp. And as they always say, you know, technical difficulties, but with this baby, it's definitely a little technical difficulty. But as I said, okay, stop that shit. I got a brand new knife I've never used, and as you can see, I'm already having some difficulties with that. So I'm gonna go back to one of my old standard knives. That thing was sharp. So now, if you can see here, this isn't really working.
Okay.
Okay, you can see I'm having some problems with the knife. I'm going to take a drink of it. And as you can probably hear, I have an audience tonight, which is probably making me nervous. And I'm not working my knife very well. But I'm going to go back to one of our old standard knives. And the first thing we're going to do, we're basically going to just shave away the salmon from the skin. So again, back to this, back to showing you an easier way to fillet the fish. So you're going to grab the skin and you're just going to pull it away from the skin, the meat, just as you can see here. Now, and you're going to just shake it. See, the other knife was too sharp. So as you can see, I got a really nice fillet, and look how it just comes right off. So you don't have to worry about scaling or any of that. Now I can actually go back to my super sharp knife that gave me many problems tonight. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take it and I'm going to just slice it up in nice long pieces, as such. So, take this in my bowl, and I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to rinse it off. And now we got some nice little pieces of salmon. You can probably take a look at them right here. Nice and clean. And one of the things that we're going to do next is we're going to add some mustard. Yes, mustard. We're going to add some mustard onto the salmon. We're going to mix that in. And we're going to take a little seasoning. Put a little seasoning on that. Not a lot. Not a lot. You can see I got a little on my arm. That's all right. I'm going to put a little more on. And one last thing, as you know, I like, especially on fish, is a little beer. And it doesn't matter what kind of beer you use. You can mix it up as much as you want. And of course, while you're doing that, let it sit for a moment. Get all over the fish. The beer is good. So now, I'm going to rinse off. And what we're going to do is, like in the old days, I don't know if you remember back in the day, before we had plastic bags and all that. And whenever we fried fish back in the day, we would always use a brown paper bag. So this is just some cornmeal and some flour and a little seasoning. And I basically took the cornmeal and laid it out on my cutting board earlier, and I rolled it out and made it really, really fine, as you can see. So now I'm going to put that in my brown paper bag. I'm going to shake it up a little. And I'm going to take my fish that was soaking in this mustard beer sauce, and I'm going to put it in the bag. So this is where it all happens. It all starts right here. Shake it up good. And this is fried salmon, y'all. Fried salmon. I know you probably say, I never had fried salmon. Who eats fried salmon? You're going to love this because this is one of my specialties. As you can see, it's nice and battered. And now we're going to put it in. I'm going to turn up the fire a little. But we don't use a lot of grease. Just enough to cover the bottom of the pan, and so that it will cover itself. And we're going to lay the salmon in there as such. We're going to get all the little pieces in there. Now, since I have an audience tonight, they're already hungry because I've been making them moisturizers and all types of other little late night libations that I created for them. Because I am the late night cook. Now, I must say, I know you watch probably all those cooking shows and they're cooking all that healthy food. And not that I don't believe in being healthy, it's just that, you know, I just enjoy eating good food and I just enjoy eating. So therefore, you know, you got to do what you got to do. And that's what I'm going to do tonight. And that's why tonight, you can see, ooh, look at that. I'll turn it up a little more. And we're going to be right back. Going to give it a little time to cook. And we're going to have some fried salmon. Stick with me. Flipping our fried salmon. It's coming out great. Look at this. Look at this. Ooh, I love it. It is coming out fantastic. Now, we don't want to fry it too hard. Because one thing, salmon cooks quick. And the one thing I found is a lot of people will cook this like they're cooking a red snapper or a sea bass or a yellowtail or a bassa or a swai. You don't really need to do that here because the salmon is a nice, it's a dense fish. It's dense, and when you fry it, you want to be able to savor that flavor of the seasons and the salmon itself. And don't worry about the mustard. The mustard is just going to give it a little flavor. You're not going to really taste the mustardy taste, but it's going to be great. Now, I have a little special seasoning that I have here that I make myself. It's some red pepper and some garlic and onions and so on. And I'm going to just sprinkle a little of that on while it's cooking. And what I normally do, and I did a little earlier, is I season my grease prior to cooking. Most people don't realize if you season the grease, then it blends itself together and it's ready to really grease the fish. This is like a marriage. They're coming together, you know, it's Cooking Bachelor. they're actually dating for the first time. So they're coming together, and as you can see, they're coming together great. This is a real nice little date. And my audience is cracking up because they think this is funny. But it's all right, because that's the beauty of having a little show like this, so we can, it's not perfect. As you saw earlier with the fish, we had a little problem with our knife that was a little too sharp. So now what we're going to do is, I think we're ready to take some of this out because we don't want to overcook it. So as you can see, here's one right now. Ooh, look at that piece. That came out great. There's another piece. These are coming out perfect. Oh yeah. And you don't want to really eat these when they're too hot, of course. You want to let them cool off some. Ah, look at that. So, as you can see, nice and brown, great looking fish. Now, one extra ingredient, and I'm gonna move this out of the way for right now because I am gonna cook some more. And I'm gonna turn on my fan because I don't want it to smell up the house. Is that I made a little sauce to go with this. And I took a little horseradish, a little tomato paste, some garlic, a hint of sugar. Sugar is good in everything, especially late night. It's wonderful.
And on everything.
And and what I did is I mixed that up, and I have a little dipping sauce. So you can have tartar sauce, but you can have something like this. And all it is a little horseradish and some tomato paste. I used a little ketchup, and I did put a little sugar in it. And then I mixed that up. And ooh, it's got a little bite. This is gonna be wonderful. Okay. So now, as you can see, we have a nice little dipping sauce, piece of salmon, and I'm going to just take this little piece right there and dip it. Fried salmon, y'all. Trust me. See, I can do that because I'm the only one going to eat out of the sauce. Go. Remember up there. As you can see, my salmon just got taken by my group. But real easy. Try frying your salmon. You're going to really enjoy it. It's got a great taste. And you got to put some mustard and beer, and you mix it up with the seasoning, and it's going to make it phenomenal. When you go to the restaurant, trust me, you'll say, hold the baked salmon and the broiled salmon, give me some fried salmon. Till next time, this is the Cooking Bachelor, your late night meal with Butch Grimes. See you next time. Bye-bye.